for Mr. Chappell Hannon. His question was, he's been driving. I could have it wrong because I'll be trying to remember messages as I pretty much do the videos. So obviously you probably going to see the message posted right here, but I have to still remember it to repeat what the question was. So I believe Mr. Chappell said that he been driving trucks for 7 years and he got his Class A CDL. Matter of fact, okay, let me start over. Mr. Chappell said he has his Class A CDL license and he have not been driving for 7 years. And he said he just want some answers on how to get back into the trucking industry because he just kind of feels so stuck on where to start. I can get how you would feel that way because you know what? When I was out of work at the time that when I had the accident, I was out of work for a couple months. And that's just a couple months and you talking about 7 years. So I can pretty much imagine how you would feel as far as where to get started, because there's a saying to where if you don't use it, you lose it. And that is really true. If you don't use it, you lose it. So what I would have to say is to do some research on companies that can recertify you. It would necessarily be like trucking schools per se. And I have not fully, I don't know every single trucking school that you could possibly start with, but I started with Prime. Prime recertifies drivers that already have their Class A, and they also, certify people that never had a Class A. But from what I'm hearing from a lot of people, it is getting really difficult to get into Prime. Like, in order to work for Prime, you got to have a great work history. Seems like you got to have an impeccable record. But I don't really understand that because when I first went with Prime, I had just got out of a domestic violence, a charge, even though it got dismissed. So, they can't count it, but they took me in after my charges got dismissed. But you can't have no felonies or anything to go with Prime. And Stevens Transport is another one. They're another company that help drivers get their CDLs and they recertify. Anybody that will help new drivers get their CDL, they will also help recertify drivers that have a CDL. You just need a refresher course. So if I was you, I would just call around and write your questions there of what you expect, what you're looking for from a company. Are you looking to be home every day? Are you looking to be home once a week? Are you looking to be home every other week? Do you mind going out for 3 weeks at a time? It's up to you of what you really want from a company, of what you need to start with. So you need to be real with yourself of your situation at home, of your situation in your mind, what you can deal with, of what you want to start with. But by you already having previous experience and you already have a CDL Class A, at least you won't have to worry about doing a contract. Because a lot of times people that just started, CDL and they complete CDL school, some schools have to where you have to be obligated to them from 6 months to a year obligation in order for you not to have to pay for that school. But from what they say, the reason why I'm doing air quotes is because some people have left before the contract was over, from the 6 months to a year, and they got away with not paying the school back. But I wouldn't try that because they can take you to court to get you to pay the school back. So a lot of times people that don't have their CDL and they have to go through places like Prime or Stevens Transport or Snyder, even JB Hunt, it's JB Hunt, Snyder, Stevens Transport, Prime, Pam does it, Roadrunner. I've heard complaints about Roadrunner. Definitely don't go to CR England. I heard CR England about to go out of business. CR England, what is it, Pam? There's a lot of them, but we talking about you, Mr. Chappell Hannon. So just call around, and then also too, I know a lot of companies, whether they're small or big, they want you to have had a certain amount of experience within, most of them is saying within 3 years. Long as you had a certain amount of experience within 3 years, you still okay to go and start orientation and work as if, you always been working. But you said it's been 7 years. So the first step is to call. That's all I can tell you. Call around. Like I said, Stevens Transport is nice. JB Hunt has local runs. So go with JB Hunt to see what they have going on. Even Night Transportation, they are a trucking school. So Night Transportation, and I hear a lot of good reviews about Night and Martin, but they're over the road though. But Martin, I just talked to Martin, and Martin has dedicated routes. They have dedicated regional. They did have some locals, but the locals go like hotcakes because most drivers want to be home. So I could try to insert the phone number for the recruiter that I had for Martin and Night. So it'll be real easy for you to get started. I would have to say, Mr. Chappell Hannon, the first start is to pick that phone up. Okay, that's the second start. The first start I would have to say is go in your mind and figure out what you want. Think about everything, your life situation, your wife, your kids. If you don't have no kids, then that's great for you. Even if you don't have a girlfriend or a wife, that's even better for you because you're totally free without distractions to run the road if you decide to want to go OTR or even whatever. Like, I mean, you're in a good situation. You just have to stop overthinking things and get out your head and just figure out what you want, then start making the phone calls. So like I said, you got JB Hunt. They do local, dedicated, regional. They got a lot of things that you can possibly get into. You got Stephen Transport. I'm not sure, but I know for sure they over the road, but they do tankers, dry van. I don't know if they do reefer. Then you got Snyder. Snyder do some local runs. It really just depends on what state you live in compared to what accounts that they can have. And then I think Walmart will recertify you because Walmart, they probably already met their hiring goals, but they was hiring really bad at one time. They make some doggone money. So you can try Walmart legit, but they definitely over the road though if you do Walmart. So you got Prime, but I said Prime is like you have to have everything together to get in with them. So you got Prime, you got Pam. I heard complaints about Pam though. I heard complaints about CR England. And CRST is kind of up in the air. Like you get good reviews and bad, but you gonna have good reviews and bad reviews with any company. Because to be honest, there is no 100% perfect company. There is no 100% perfect company. Shoot, you might want to do this to the dispatchers, shoot, because them dispatchers, that's one of the things that make it to where it ain't perfect. Because them mother-sucking dispatchers get on your nerves. Like their main goal in this trucking game is to put a driver in the seat. You get my load there, and that's all I'm worrying about. Now, grant, of course they worry about safety because they have to, because there's so many lawsuits to where they have to put drivers first as far as these ELDs and everything else. So, yes, like I said, only main advice I can give you, like have a game plan of what you're looking to achieve when you get back into trucking. And since you already had previous trucking experience, why did you get out of it? So you need to think back on why you got out of it. Is the why you got out of it resolved to where when you get back in it, you won't have to make the same, I guess, action happen again. So if it was something that was a concern or something that was an issue, hopefully the issue is resolved. So this time go around when you get back into the trucking game, you'll be 100% successful in staying in it unless you want to do this just for temporary. That's why I said, first, just think about what you want. Think about what you want, why you're trying to get back in, what you're looking for out of a company, and everything else. Now, there are a lot of smaller companies that you can go to. You don't always have to go to these mega carriers because a lot of times mega carriers, I mean, it can just be a headache working for a lot of these mega carriers because they do too much sometimes, and a lot of times the money don't be worth it sometimes. And then by rates going up and down right now, you really have to be careful. Because from just everything I'm hearing from drivers, looking on DAT board, reading reports, reading articles, rates they're kind of down right now. They're not as lucrative as they were some years back, and it could have a lot to do with political because you know the elections are coming up, and then it's just a lot of stuff going on with Trump being in office. So it's just a lot going on as far as change. So if you do decide to get back into this trucking game, please be prepared for just some of the headaches that will come with getting back into it because things are really changing. If it ain't from the ELD, the login rules, like that's changed. If it's not from just a change in technology with trucks, like most trucks are not manuals no more. You're going to have to deal with automatics. If it's just not from just the laws, just from parking issues, from just like inspections. So one thing I could tell you to prepare for too is if it's been 7 years since you even touched the truck, if you know somebody that has a truck, or if it's some type of way that you can get a truck, or even at that, if you can't get your hands on a truck, like the book, the CDL book that you study to get your CDL or your endorsements or whatever, study the pre-trip. Because even though, like most people say, well, you just need to know all this to pass the test. No, you don't, because if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a real truck driver, you are thoroughly doing your pre-trip, really for the most of this stuff out that book every day. You're not just getting in your truck and pulling off, because that's some dumb crap. If you just, you get your bills, you go up, get the key, get in the truck and pull off. You ain't even lift the hood. You ain't even check your brakes. You ain't even look at your tires. You ain't even check your spring mounts. Like, you ain't even pulled the oil dipstick. Like, you didn't check not nothing. So you had a potential for a tire blowout to hit somebody, car, kill somebody, or God forbid if it's a front steer tire, you about to damn near kill yourself because you didn't do a pre-trip. See? So there's a lot, like I said, if I was you, since it's been a while, study that pre-trip. Study the pre-trip so you can have an idea of how to pre-trip a truck when you do get back in. Because a lot of times if you got previous experience and a company really needs you, most companies that feel like you got previous experience, and I said this in Automags is messing people up video, a lot of times when you get to the company, do all the paperwork, you in this and that, they just gonna throw you the keys. Here you go, sir. We need this load to go to such and such by this time. All right, you have a lovely day. They just throw you the keys. No refresher course or nothing. So, but most likely, since it's been a while for you, you're going to have to go to one of these trucking schools to get recertified as far as just making sure your skill set is still there. So, you said, what should you do because you feel so stuck? And I can understand it. But like I said, if you don't use it, you lose it. So, once you get back into the swing of things, it'll be just like, riding a bike. So, figure out what you want. Figure out what will work for you. What kind of monies you looking for. Are you your home time? What you expect as far as the culture of a company. And then start making phone calls to some of these places I named, like JB Hunt, Snyder, Prime, CRST, Stevens Transport. There's so many. And download Driver's Pulse, 10th Street. I just did a video, but I'm kind of learning how to use the screen recorder. So I have to fix the video because I thought it was recording my voice, but it wasn't. So now I have to sit here and do the video all over again. So I'm going to show you guys how Driver's Pulse or 10th Street, it's either called 10th Street or Driver's Pulse, because on Driver's Pulse, literally any job will pop up for you, whether it's a local job, whether it's a over-the-road job, whether it's trucking school, whatever. Like, you have access to a network of trucking companies that you can start to make these phone calls to. And then download Truckers Tools and download CDL Life. CDL Life is like a Facebook for truckers. Like, you can literally post anything. You can network with other truck drivers. If you got questions, you can find jobs. It's a trucking GPS in it. Like, that stuff helps out. And even Truckers Tools, I feel is for a lot of lease drivers or owner ops, because they do stuff like factoring, finding rest areas, truck stops, trucking magazine. Like, they are some cool apps. Like, y'all really should give them things a try, because it helps me out to do the job I do and just networking and stuff like that. So I hope this video guide helped you. And I have a lot to do today, so I probably try to end up going live later on if anybody is available. So, all right, Mr. Chappell Hannon, I hope this answered your question. And if you do see this video and you have any more questions, I will do my best to answer as much as I can. But I have a couple other response videos that I have to get to. So I hope you guys have a lovely day. Y'all see my hair? This is a wig, though. This is a wig, honey. I said, man, I don't feel like braiding no freaking hair. I'm going to braid it today, though. I ain't feel like doing it, though. I did want a different look. So I just pretty much threw the wig on and said, this going to have to do today, honey. I should rip it off, but no, I ain't going to be ghetto today. I need to be professional, honey. Oh, and I got another video coming up, too, about a Blue Parrot review. So y'all stay tuned for that as well. So I'm about to go to the gym. I'm about to jog this block. Hey, Trucker Rel, this for you, Trucker. Subscribe to my buddy, Trucker Rel. This guy is very family-oriented. He loves his wife, his kids. He work out. He worked at Landstar. So anybody that got questions about Landstar, Trucker Rel can help you. Trucker Rel, R-E-L-L, Rel. Like, his new challenge is the 100 push-up a day. So, Rel, I have not got to it yet, but I'm going to join you with the 100 push-up a day. I don't know if I can do it for 30 days, but I don't know. I'm going to just try to do the 100 push-ups a day. But I have to talk. We have to talk. The Fit Crew, we got to come together to put this stuff together. But I'm definitely joining the 100 push-ups a day. And then I want to start doing my mile a day jogging. I might go jogging after I get off here with y'all. So, all right, y'all. Time is the essence. Let's make that the time of it. Let's love each other, not judge each other. Because I never judge you, honey. And I love you. Bitch it. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Deuces.